Well, we're back, ladies and gents. It's the two ordinary cops.
Very ordinary, as we like to say.
Yeah, very. Yeah. So, we've sort of spoken about a few different things. We've released the podcast now, and another we spoke about. The PTSD one was well received, and there's been some feedback about that, and people saying it's normalised things.
Yep.
But to me, the one thing that always comes back with policing, and I know we get a bit heavy. I know the domestic violence one was a bit heavy.
Yep.
So, for me, funny stuff. I just have to come back to funny stuff. So,
Yep.
The first funny stories one that we spoke about was like really early on in our careers. And we were both racking our brains, and we haven't racked them well enough yet. So we're probably going to be a bit spontaneous as we talk about this. Funny things happened all the time. It's just that you can't remember it.
No.
Because there's just so much stuff happens. I find my memory's not real good.
Yep.
An example, I'll talk about memory for a bit, and then I'll get into funny stuff. Yeah. So I did some car rallies with Dad, with my dad, out at Toowoomba and a few other places around. And we'd go out in the bush, and they're like the Great Endeavour Rally, it used to be called. It's changed now to the Road Boss Rally is what we were doing. And he would tell stories in full detail about, remember the night we had here and this and that? And I'm like, no, I have no idea what you're talking about. He's like, yeah, you were singing, you were doing this. He's like, I have no idea. I wasn't, and it wasn't that I was drunk and can't remember. I just can't remember.
Yeah.
I can't remember it. That happens all the time. I've written statements, legitimate statements, where people have gone, I've received an email from the case officer going, hey mate, can you just flick me a quick statement in relation to this job? And it might be a few weeks ago. I'll go, no mate, I wasn't no, that doesn't ring a bell, I wasn't there. He said, yeah, I've got your radio calls and I've got your promise you were there.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh jeez, I'll just check my notebook.
Yeah.
I was there. Check on promise, I listened to a radio call. It's like, yeah, I was making calls and arresting people. But I have no memory whatsoever.
It's funny, I remember actually a similar thing, like, they wanted me to do a statement, for this case, and it was just a simple trespass, where we'd arrested her and all that, and he goes, they're just taking a hearing, so can I get a statement from you? Anyway, geez, I can't really remember. I remember because we had to deal with somebody in the ambulance, but, and that was an off case that happened because the security came out and said she's not allowed to be there.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I'm flicking through, I'm looking at the date, and I go, holy shit, everything's there. I said, she said, everything. Yeah. And I said, I actually did, what I did, I took a photocopy, because I think it was good old Dave Begani, and I took a photocopy, signed it off of my notebook, and I sent it to him. I said, just give this to defence and see if they want to argue. Nah, plead guilty.
Beautiful.
But I couldn't remember.
No, I've got a few of them. I can't remember at all.
Yeah.
And actually, before I go on to my funny story, I'll tell one, and this was to do with the PTSD side of things. A mate of mine who was involved, he was the other guy in the Long Pursuit funny story that I spoke about where we drove past the BP server.
Yep.
He contacted me, that guy.
Yeah.
He goes, yeah, no, it's cool, mate. You're listening to it all and enjoying it. He's a fairly quietly spoken sort of bloke.
Yep.
And he was messaging me and he goes, that same crew, do you remember that job we went to? It was a domestic that was really bad, and the partner the marriage had broken down, so the partner had come back, they'd have a terrible argument, and he'd grabbed a very small child. And he'd basically abducted this child and was holding the child hostage in a car park. And the partner was she was convinced that he was about to kill this child in front of her just to get back at her, basically. We attended the job. We were the GD's crew on deck. We managed to get him to release the child. I think he was armed. I can't remember the job. My point is I can't even remember the job.
Yeah.
So I can't remember if he was armed or what he was. But anyway, we just had a bit of a standoff. In the end, we got hold of him. And then my partner was telling me that we had the biggest wrestle on the ground with this guy. Like, we were on the ground fighting this guy. And he goes, mate, it wasn't that we were getting overcome, but it was just we were starting to gas out because we just could not get this guy down. He was just fighting tooth and nail. This is before the days of taser.
Yeah, yep.
And he said, mate, you pummeled him into the ground, and you're the one who just went, right, job's on, and started pummeling him. And that was the only reason we got him. Yep. And I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about. I cannot for the life of me remember this job. And he goes, how can you not remember it? It's something that's stuck in my mind for my whole life. Like, it haunts me, that job.
Yeah.
And I go, I don't know what you're talking about. I have no idea. And that just means I've got a bad memory.
No, because the thing is also, we are going to so many jobs.
So many. And I remember stuff that burns into my brain.
Yeah.
Like, I remember the vision. I've witnessed some horrific stuff.
Yeah.
And a lot of that is burned into my brain.
Yeah.
But as a result, I think what happens is the old library shelf is full and a few other things get shoved out. Things I remember are really funny stuff that was just really funny.
Yep.
And then I also remember like just horrific stuff. But it doesn't overwhelm my life. It's just there. I don't really remember things like that. But he's going, mate, this was brutal. Like, it was the most full-on thing I've ever seen. I'm like, I don't know.
I wasn't there.
I don't know. I know nothing. And that was a very legitimate thing. I don't know. I cannot remember that job. And I still can't.
No.
The only reason I was able to bring anything back there was because what he told me.
I think it was, the same thing happened to me. Like, they were talking about a job, and he said, well, you actually arrested him. And I, did I?
Wow.
Like,
news to me.
Yeah, I can't remember that.
That's only the 200th birthday this month.
That's right. Anyway, mate, crack on to the funny one.
So look, we've got some funny stuff from later on, and like I was saying, I can't remember most of it, so we kind of have to pry the memories out of each other. But I remember this one job because it was the most bizarre out there. If you wrote a movie with this in it, you would go, what a B-grade load of crap.
Yeah.
I was working by myself. I was the shift sergeant in Darwin City with my crew, and a great PG. I loved it. We were a good tight-knit crew, fun-loving, but, we'd work hard, play hard.
Yeah.
Anyway, property crime's an issue everywhere. We had reports of multiple stolen cars just tearing around the place, and some unlawful entries are starting to roll in, which is unusual at night. Normally happens in the morning. Everyone wakes up and finds their car missing.
Yep.
So anyway, there's just pursuits everywhere. So what happened was a big one kicked off with about 4 stolen cars involved.
Oh, jeez.
So, and some got ditched early on and people got arrested, but then there's still this ongoing pursuit, and they're driving really dangerously and provocatively through the streets and trying to provoke a response.
Yep.
So anyway, I'm involved. The Casuarina units are involved. Most of my crews are involved. Palmerston shift supervisor, who's a very good mate of mine.
Yep.
Of course he's involved. So he's in, and we're chasing these guys around.
I'll just cut in there, mate. While this is happening, probably all the officers at Catherine, if they're having a bit of a quieter moment, they're just listening to it.
They're listening. Come on, boys. So anyway, they're listening in, and we're driving all over Darwin. These guys are taking us to anyone who knows Darwin. You've got the north side of the airport, which is like the more of the suburb and things like that, and then you've got the city sort of comes down to the north on a little peninsula.
Yeah.
And there's only sort of 2 ways in and 2 ways out. And we had road spikes, and we're trying to set them up. It was just that they just kept moving around so much. It was really hard work.
Yeah.
What happened was I was the second vehicle. I had a person in with me. One of my seconds. We're actually talking to him. We're going to get him on the podcast.
Yep.
Anyway, the stolen cars peeled in each direction. So the lead vehicle's taken one, and I've become the lead vehicle on another. So the first stupid thing that happens is there's only one channel, one radio channel really that I can operate on for pursuit. So I change over to our inquiries channel and go urgent, 202 pursuit, or whatever vehicle I was in, pursuit. And they're like, no, negative, you're on channel 2. Yeah, roger, continuing, we've got 2 pursuits. I was like, so she's on the inquiries channel. So she's like, oh my God, I'm now a pursuit controller. And then like saying to the watch commander, we've got another pursuit.
Yeah.
And he was good, and he knew it was under control, but he had his hand above the button for
ready to call it.
So anyway, but he's just listening to see how we go. Yeah. And both of them were getting called okay.
Yeah.
So that was the first stupid thing that happens. We're in multiple pursuits, and then the 2 pursuits would come back together. The 2 stolen cars would come back together.
I'm back on channel 1.
And negative, we're now involved, same pursuit, channel 1 for easy. And it's just the... So we're chasing these idiots all around town. We get a couple of successful spikes, and then not... And then we'd taken off chasing another car, and this is the second stupid thing that happens. The pursuit, we'd resolved one car, it had been spiked and pulled over, and someone had taken them into custody. We had another car tear off towards the city. And anyone who knows Darwin, it's sort of relevant because the Bagot flyover Bagot Road heads north and then peels in and becomes the Stewart Highway, and it goes over the Bagot flyover, which is a bit of a man-made structure that goes over the road. Anyway, as you enter into it, once you're committed to it, you can't turn around because it's straight through. You've got to go over to the other side. So anyway, one of the car went on the wrong side of the road, and I sort of went on the other side thinking, no, he'll go over on the wrong side of the road, but we'll be right. We can go across it. And there's another car over there. It was fine. It was all legit. Anyway, he's waited till we've come past, and then he's slammed the brakes on, reverse back out. So I can't turn and get to him now because I'm on the other lane with big fences between us.
Yeah.
So I try and do a really fast turnaround with my partner in the front seat. And he goes, "You're not going to make it. You're going to hit the gutter." I was like, "No, we'll be right." So I floor it and do a U-turn in this Commodore and go whoompa straight into the gutter. Oh. And I've gone, and he's gone, I bet you that's flat. And I've gone, no, I think we're okay. Driver, thump, thump, thump. Oh, no. So we're out of the game. And he's like, I told you we're going to hit the gutter. Anyway, so we pull over on the side of the road and I get out and it's like, mate, I flattened it. I'll change it. He's like, no, I'm the junior member. I'll change the bloody tyre, Sarge. And he gets out and he's So the trouble is we've been in an active pursuit for quite a while now. So we've been driving the rims off this thing.
Yeah.
So the brake, it was hot.
Yeah.
You couldn't touch it. No. It was hot as the fire hell. So we're really fast trying to rip the jack and the wheel spanner out. We've taken the bolts off, but the wheel nuts, but it's so hot. Like you can't touch them. They're hitting the ground and just. So anyway, Todd's like, "You owe me beers for this."
That's definitely a pardonable offence, mate.
Yeah. So we're spinning, and I'm listening to this pursuit, and it's moved away from us back to the northern suburbs. So we're at Baggett Road, so Ludmilla, just coming into the city, and it's gone right back out to like Karama, which is getting out towards the southern western side of Darwin.
Yeah.
So we're in the clear. We're sitting there. Anyway, then it all starts coming back towards us, and I'm like, Todd, no pressure or anything, but hurry up, mate, it's coming back. He's like, for God's sake. So we get the spare tyres on this thing. We put it in the back. We quickly tighten it up. We then take off and we're back into this pursuit. And it's like, we just had a pit stop in the middle of the pursuit. How many people can say they pulled over and changed a tyre and then resumed the pursuit? So we resumed it. We're back into it. And he's like, for God's sake, we've got no spare now. Don't be smashing anymore. So we're tearing and trying to get these. This bloody. The next thing that happened was it had been something got terminated. So a pursuit got terminated, and as we were chasing, we we sort of didn't need to terminate there. That was okay. And then, very unusually, over the radio came, "No, negative. I'm in this pursuit. There is no issue with this. This is the TDS. The Territory Duty Superintendent has been ghosting us in the pursuit." Just for his own bloody entertainment. So we didn't even know he was there. So he's ghosting. Anyway, he's going, no, re-engage. There's no issue with that, which is kind of against the pursuit policy. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Nothing came of it. We were chasing by this stage one car. So we had one. We'd resolved three. We had one to go. We're coming back in, ironically, very close to where we had the spare, where we changed the tyre. And anyway, we had a successful road spike on Baggett Road, and the car pulled into one of the communities on the road there. Baggett community. And anyway, we immediately arrested these guys. So the Territory Duty Superintendent and so I went in with the arresting guys and I'm helping them, and I've come back out and everyone's sort of just standing around, and it's the superintendent, which is very rare. You never see them on the road.
No.
The shift supervisor from Palmerston, who's a good mate of mine. Casuarina units, and they're all starting to break away because the jobs are still coming. Anyway, I run up. I'm fairly new in Darwin at this stage. But I knew the super, and I run up to him and hugged him, and I went, "Oh, thank you, sir." He said, "I haven't had a decent pursuit in ages. They just get cancelled all the time." And he's like, "Oh, no problem, bub." And he said, "No, there was nothing wrong with that. That was a safe call. I was completely happy with the conduct of all the drivers. I was way back but watching what was going on." You weren't that way back, sir. So anyway, out of one pursuit, we've had multiple pursuits. A flat tyre where we've done a pit stop, changed the tyre in the middle of a pursuit, resumed and caught the target vehicle. Not us personally, but the team caught the target vehicle. And then I've cuddled the Territory Duty Superintendent at the end of it. So it was the gift that kept on giving as far as humour went.
Hey, you've just reminded me one. It's a pretty quick one. I remember one day, and I can't remember why it happened, but it was in Katherine, and I think they had a thing where they wanted the superintendent and the senior sergeant to just go out on the road for a bit, just see what's happening. And so there was a senior sergeant and superintendent, they're driving around, helping us out, like say they'd rock up at a job. And we had this one in Ryan Park, was it? Was that the one near the bridge?
Yep.
And anyway, we're sitting there, and so we're talking to a few people, and they come up and they said, "Oh, what's going on, Schultzy?" I said, "Oh, well, this one, we've got this. It's domestic, basically." I got the offender, victim, and all that. And I said, do you want to go over and just chat to him and and all this sort of stuff. So they're there, and I'm dealing with her, who's actually the offender. And anyway, then I sit there they disappear, right? And then I hear them go mobile. We got one arrest on board, and I go, they arrested the victim.
You ever ask any questions?
Oh God. So anyway, so we've grabbed her. We've gone back to the station, and what happened was when it was also a breach DVO. They thought that he was the offender in the thing. He's actually the victim in the DVO. Yeah. So when it's been read to them, they've obviously mixed it up in their heads and thinking he's the offender.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I'll get that.
$1,000 an hour?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'll go, sir, you can't do that. And he goes, what? And he goes, oh, well, what can we do? I said, I'll tell you what, you go upstairs to the computer, you let me sort this one out. I'll just have a chat to him.
How about you go doing boss stuff?
Thanks for bringing the witness up to the station for us.
Yeah, beautiful. Well played, that man. Let's get him a cup of tea, and we'll never speak of this again. Yeah. So it's funny, you've reminded me of something. Now, if you hadn't done anything wrong and a big group of police officers surrounded your house and ordered you at taser point to lie down...
Yeah.
And you complied, and you put your hands behind your back, and you got handcuffed. Didn't ask any questions, just went, yep, no worries, and then got rolled onto your side, searched thoroughly, and then told you are under arrest for aggravated robbery. Do you think you'd react and go, what, aggravated robbery? Yeah. I don't know who you people are. What are you doing here? I've never done an aggravated robbery in my life. You would think that would be the logical response.
Definitely.
The situation was... it was a Caucasian offender in the city who was an absolutely prolific thief all around the country. He had criminal history in every state and territory in Australia, without exaggeration.
Yeah.
He was a fella. He was born in 1977, same age as you. That's how I remember. And I thought, mate, you're in your early 40s.
Yeah.
And you have been continually committing these offences for the last 30 years. So anyway, that was the end game. That was who this guy was. So this guy, who I'd never seen before, I'm driving into town to prosecutions. I was in Trident by this stage, so I'm in a plain Camry in plain clothes, driving in with a big stack of prosecution files. And I see this guy running across the main road, so Mitchell Street, holding a till.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's not normal, Schultzy. So anyway, then I see the pharmacist, who's a big Indian guy, very cool guy, very funny fella, but he wasn't funny this day. He's run out and gone, stop, thief, like something out of a cartoon.
Yeah.
So I've gone, I've got you, boy. Yeah. So I wheel around and I'm chasing him, and I missed him. Like, he just jumped in and a couple of things. I'm in my car. I couldn't get out quick enough.
Yeah.
I didn't have time to make a radio call because I'm too busy driving.
Yeah.
And I'm by myself. And anyway, so he got away. But I then very quickly called it, and I've said, this is what's just occurred right in front of me. I need a cordon. Any units available?
Yeah.
And they're like, there never is. There's never units just available. I think I got one car from Casuarina 10 minutes later, so I can't put a cordon in. Anyway, we're searching, and as a result, I go through and I got my guys out from Trident. I said, look, this has just occurred. I don't think it's a robbery. I think it's just a stealing, but it's pretty brazen, and we need to grab this dude. And the till's full of money. Like, it's a fairly big fairly big theft. Anyway, we get a really good get camera footage of him, and you couldn't see his facial features very well, but you could very distinctly see he had Everlast shorts on. So these shorts that were very distinguishable, and he had a distinguishable top, and I think he had like black joggers. So he looked quite distinguishable.
Yep.
Anyway, I put this broadcast out to everyone. All be on the lookout. This is the description.
Yeah.
Wanted for this. Blah blah blah. Next minute, I get a unit coming over, and I can't remember the unit call sign, but it's one you never hear because it was a speed camera. A speed camera operator, who's a police auxiliary, goes, and they don't talk on the radio very much. They log on and they log off. And they go, we have 56 people recorded, mobile clear. That's all they ever say. He's come over and he's gone, I have eyes on that offender right now. He's walking down this street, heading towards what we knew was an abandoned building. That's often a junkie hangout. And we thought, that fits the bill. No worries. So I said, right, all marked cars stayed out of the area. I had my guys in there by now. So I had unmarked units everywhere. So we get in and we slowly encroach on this building, and I get eyes on. I go, that's our boy, 100%. Like, he's wearing Everlast shorts. Because the footage wasn't perfect, it was a very, very good depiction of who we were, who we were looking for. And fitted the bill. Junkie, going to a junkie hangout. So we surround it. We go in, tasers blazing, police get on the ground, but you're under it. Got him down. Didn't question us. I said at that point aggravated robbery because I think he did push the guy as he ran out. He pushed someone over.
Oh, right. Okay.
So that was why it was a robbery.
Yep.
And hurt them, like the fella hurt himself. So that was why it was a robbery because I remember arresting him for aggravated robbery.
Yep.
So I arrest him. We pick him up, and he just hates us. He's looking at us just up and down, but saying nothing. Fitting the bill perfectly. Professional crook.
This one's not going to talk.
Yeah. So anyway, we start getting some really good, better quality stills from the actual police CCTV around the place in Mitchell Street. So this has all been happening in the background. I've got people doing work. It's all ongoing. So we get this photo back.
Mate, you sound like the police's well-oiled machine there.
She was a bit of sand in the old machine, but that's all right. So anyway, I get this photo back. And I'm looking at the shitbag who I've just binned, who's telling me nothing.
Yeah.
Barely telling me his name, looking at the ground. He's a crook. He was a crook.
Oh,
he was a very bad boy.
Yeah.
But he wasn't the guy I was looking for. And I held the paper next to him and I said, mate, what's your name? He goes, yeah, get effed or whatever. Yeah. Like, mate, we're not even looking for you. Have you robbed anything today? Not telling you nothing. It's like, you're an idiot, mate. I'm now releasing this goose from custody.
Yeah.
So I get him out. Look, he 100% looked like our boy, but he wasn't him.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the picture going, bloody hell, they could be brothers.
Yeah.
But it's not him.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's funny how things happen. So we've released this goose. He's walked out and going, yeah, he pricks. And he's like, mate, we'll lift you for real if you don't go away. Like, you know. Anyway, so away he goes. And then I look over the road. And I go, Everlast shorts, blue shirt. Oh, you're joking. And so I just casually walk over there, sort of covering my gun. Because I'm in plain clothes, but I've got my Glock on. So I'm covering my gun. I walk over and I walk up and I just stand next to him. And I don't really make much. And I look at him and go, that's our boy. I ran over to him and I just crash tackled him to the ground quick as I can. Get your hands behind your back. Oh, you got me. Like, he gave up. He wasn't a tough guy.
Yeah.
He was just a thief. So anyway, cuffed him up and he coughed. Sung like a bird. Oh, I need money. I needed some gear, and I've got no money. I'm not from here. I said, no, you're not. But anyway, it's funny. He goes, I said, listen, you can apply for it because down the track he'd been charged and everything else. And I was looking at him, looking at his record, going, I've never seen a better candidate for remand in my life. He's transient, as in Australia-wide transient.
Yep.
He had something like 500 criminal history, all for the same stuff. He served prison time in every state in the country, and he's not a tough guy. He was a weaselly looking dude. So anyway, I want to apply for bail. I said, yeah, you can apply. You're not getting bail. So I'll review you through to a magistrate, but I can tell you right now, I'm going to very strongly oppose your bail.
Yep.
And you can go straight to court now. And he goes, so what's the penalty for stealing in the Northern Territory? And I said, it's 7 years, but normally that's pretty extreme.
Yeah.
He goes, what if I just go and plead guilty? How long you reckon I'll get? And I said, mate, it's not up to me. If you want to plead guilty, that's a matter for you and your lawyer.
That's right.
You do what you want to do. I'm here to tell you what we're doing. And I'm not giving you bail. You're going to court today because it's a court day. It was a weekday.
Yep.
He's like, yeah, righto. He goes over there, pleads guilty straight up, and he got slotted 12 months to serve.
Really?
Straight in. So in the same day he committed the offence, that night he commenced his sentence for 1 year.
That's awesome.
In Berrima Jail. This guy, I think his last place that he'd been was Melbourne. Like, he'd come up from Victoria.
Yeah.
And it was cool. Like, it was a lot cooler in Victoria than it was in bloody Berrima Jail.
Yeah,
I think it was Holt's prison by then.
Yeah.
With no air conditioning. So imagine how he went straight into Berrima.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so it was just an amazing job. Like that, just how people, you would think.
Yep, you would actually say something.
If you were arresting me for aggravated robbery, so this is a case of mistaken identity, good sir.
I was just thinking of a funny one, and I think we told this one when we did a talk one time, but we had an escape. There was this guy that ran away from, basically he had to go to the hospital. He was in jail, like he'd been sentenced, and I don't know how long he had on his sentence, but they had to take him to hospital one day, and basically he ran away from the prison guards, and got away, and then his girlfriend actually helped him drive, and we were chasing him through the territory as in the NT police force was chasing him for a couple of days. He was still handcuffed, right? But so what's happened is we're sitting there, and I think we had a prisoner watch or something. We had someone in the cell, so it's about 11 o'clock at night, and we get a call from Heartbreak Hotel. Sitting there going, oh, this guy's... They've just come to try and fuel up the car.
Yeah, he's wearing handcuffs.
Anyway, so they said he got about, I don't know, 5 litres. That was about it until they hit the button and stopped the pump, going when they realised. Anyway, so he's like taken off, and we've gone and we've met them. He's dumped his girlfriend and her 2 kids on the side of the highway, like this is 1 o'clock in the morning.
Nice fella.
Yeah, exactly. And then he's done another bolt. But so we've helped her, taken her back to Heartbreak Hotel, and then I'm talking to the superintendent and all that, and sitting there going, basically he can't go far. He hasn't got much fuel. We've spoken to her. She's got the keys. It was one of those, if you got the key in your pocket, you can start push button. Yeah,
see, that's proper flash.
Yes, yeah. So he was obviously driving and it's beeping, but you can still drive. But once you stop, you can't get it started again. Yeah. So anyway, we said, and it's late at night, so it's probably best we just wait here and all that sort of thing. So I'm working with Dylan, right? Now Dylan's wearing he must have been I was in the driver's seat. Dylan's in the passenger seat. And he's got, you got the party pack, which is a pepper spray. A canister, and they put out a lot of pepper spray.
Yeah, high volume.
And he's got it tucked in
like
a holster on the leg.
Yeah, yep.
And anyway, so he's got that, and we're sitting there, and we got the sat phone in the middle, and we said, we'll just pull the car, and we're just basically having a sleep, So it's about 2 in the morning by this stage. We're going, all right, just go to sleep. So we just and then the phone rings, right? Anyway, Dylan turns, as his turn to hit it, because of course the pin's bloody not in the thing either. So as his turn, the buckle of the seatbelt buckle has hit the trigger.
Oh, good times.
And it's hit this windscreen. It's a pepper spray, so it's in enclosed car.
Yeah.
This pepper spray has hit the windscreen and just showered us with pepper spray. I've never seen, if somebody had a video, it would have been the funniest thing you could actually see, I reckon. We literally just rolled out of the car, coughing and spluttering, just like pasted orange.
Yeah.
Pepper spray. We were already tired because, we'd been up all night anyway.
Yeah. Dearie me.
And of course it burns.
Wow. It's only got one job, Schultzy.
That's right.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh dear. So
I've heard of it taking a secondary before, but what do you call that? A party pack off the windscreen straight to your old forehead.
Oh dear. So that was definitely a night to remember. We caught him later on.
Yeah.
He ended up he was just down the road, and we actually arrested her as well because she was an accessory to him escaping. So we had to actually take her. I had to arrest her. I said to my partner, I said, just go and take the kids and all that sort of thing. And
bit of misplaced loyalty there, eh? Kicks her out on the road.
Yeah. So they caught him, I think, later on that afternoon because we kept on going until about, 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock or something, and then we had to take her into Borroloola to fly her out. So
yep.
Yeah, but
No, it's funny how things happen.
Never forget that one.
No. Look, there's going to be more. Humour, like I've said it before, I'll say it again. Humour is going to be all through this. That's the whole idea.
Exactly.
We do have to talk about heavy stuff at times because that's just how it is.
That's right.
But, humour will be the ongoing.
It's the way we always dealt with it, I think... how many times I remember. We won't go into details because some of these are horrific ones. We've had a debrief over a beer constantly. Before, so
still
exactly. You have a heavy day or something, or you see something really horrific, and if you get the call like you want to just come over to my place, have a beer, or you go to the police pub, you want to just meet me there, let's have a yarn and all this sort of thing. And I remember one day you were telling an absolutely horrific story, and I've just gone, mate, we've got to lighten this up. And I've just, I've made this joke and we're all pissing ourselves laughing. It was completely inappropriate, but it was just something to, I don't know, change it up. Yeah, that's right. I won't say it because it is pretty heavy.
No, that's fair.
There's some things that people shouldn't know that we joke about, I think. But,
but we do, and like I always say, it's never at the expense of the victims.
No,
and that's
exactly
genuine.
Right.
I've never made it. It's not funny.
It just helps with our debrief. It's a way to kind of, so we're not depressed all the time, so to speak. So it's
very good.
Yeah. Anyway, mate, what do you reckon? Have you got any more from me at the moment?
I'm sure I do. I'll have to think of mine.
Oh, yeah.
We'll have to think something.
Mate, it's funny, actually, while you're talking, because you're actually going through, and I'm going, oh, yeah, I got that one.
Yeah.
And then by the time I forget it,
Yep.
I'm sitting there going, damn it, I can't think of it.
No, but that's all right. We'll think of more. That's
Exactly.
the other thing. Any ex-coppers who've worked with us through the year, if you think of something like this fella did with me, let us know, because it might spark a memory of a funny story or a sad story or something.
Yeah, and fill us in. Like, there's some funny ones. Like I was chatting to one who got in contact with us, and he was the one that crashed. So he was chasing ewes and ran his back of East Side shops, and it had just been rained or something. All the sprinklers had just been on, so it was slippery. He's actually slid and they've just seized a carton of EB from people drinking illegally downtown. Anyway, so they've actually slid and hit the tree, and they've and of course they're both a bit dazed, from hitting the tree and all that sort of thing, and it's actually started a fire.
Yes,
so they've got the fire extinguisher out, and it's gone. Yeah, there's nothing in it.
Nothing in it.
So obviously they do the check. Yeah. So they've put it out with VB cans.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot that part. Yeah,
and it was just when he rang me up. He texted me the other day, and I remember that one. I go, oh, that's a classic.
Oh, and that is such a uniquely northern.
I could just see. So imagine walking past, and there's the police putting out a fire with.
What are you blokes doing? Bugger off! Oh,
nothing to see here.
Yeah, go and get another carton. It's a 2-carton fire. This one. Oh, that's very good.
Oh dear. But anyway, mate, we're at that magic time,
mate,
we'll finish this one up, and we'll see you again soon.
Absolutely. Talk soon.